Hello and welcome back to the battlefields of Total War Rome 2, everyone. HeirofCarthage here, and I will be guiding you through yet another multiplayer battle in Total War Rome 2. This one with some factions that we haven't seen a lot of recently, so this should be a lot of fun for you all. Cimmeria is an interesting kind of steppe, kind of Greek faction that you get. It's like the baby of a steppe and a Greek faction here. So they're going to have multiple horse archers. It looks like 3 on this flank. That's the only horse archer outside the general. Looks like we got a noble horse archer general, so 4 horse archers in total. They're supported by a citizen cavalry, not something you typically see with a steppe type faction. There are some Scythian hoplites out here guarding the flanks. Looks like 4 of those in total. And then we're going to have a main line of the Cimmerian noble infantry here, which is a hoplite unit that, not by armor, but by weapon damage, kind of makes my poor Sacred Band a little bit jealous, but these guys are lacking armor compared to some of the other elite hoplites, so they pay for that a little bit. Charge bonus is decent, but not amazing. And then we're going to have in front of them a line of Cimmerian heavy archers. Now, Cimmerian heavy archers, pretty cool unit here. They come with a fair bit of armor at 35. They can make a difference. And then there's a picked peltist out in front of them, which is a peltist unit with extra ammunition. 65 armor, similar to a, say, a Libyan peltist type unit, so pretty heavy armor for a peltist. Let's go check out the Arevaci. Now, they are an Iberian faction, so they're going to be kind of a glass cannon type faction, like the Lusitani. I don't remember the exact differences between these factions, and honestly, they are pretty similar in probably almost every way. We're going to have a main line of Scutari. These are decent medium melee infantry. They don't have much armor, but they hit pretty good on attack and, okay on charge. They're fairly cost-effective. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but they're pretty good. So it looks like about 6 of them across the middle, 5 or 6. Up front, it looks like Iberian slingers, which is a cheap slinger option. Some noble fighters behind them, but our horse archer friends are about to pay them a visit that they would rather not have. And they better turn around and get their shields up, or else they're about to get mowed down. Yeah, look at that. 5 noble fighters down in a single volley. And these units need some protection, big time. There are more Iberian slingers nearby, and these Iberian spearmen got shot up by those horse archers on the way in as well. If these noble fighters, this one's already taken enough damage that it's going to be, really way less combat effective. So already these horse archers finding very good success there. And the Arevaci do have a lot of cavalry. There's 4 of these Celt-Iberian cavalry. These are going to be, again, I'm assuming, it's a medium melee cav, and when I'm looking at their stats, a little bit less than Carthaginian cav, probably maybe a little bit better charge, but not particularly heavy armor or anything. It should be, again, a decent medium melee cavalry. These guys are kind of blobbed up moving around this. They better be careful in case they get hit by, archer fire or javelins. Almost every shot's going to hit. It's going to be painful, but it looks like the Arevaci pulling around to the rear of the Cimmerians, but I don't think the Cimmerians really care, to be honest. I don't think they have anything to really worry about from those Celt-Iberian cav, whereas the Arevaci have a lot to worry about from those horse archers, and you can see them really posting up strong against the horse archers, having been, hit early, and you can see these units now turned around with their shields facing that direction. So, shields facing or not, you got to be careful. You just can't take a lot of bow fire early, because bowfire may not do a ton of armor-piercing damage, but it is higher damage in general, and they can fire pretty rapidly, and you just don't want to be soaking up that kind of damage. These steppe horse archers only shooting right now with 100 range. That means they're in heavy shot, I believe, which also means that we should have a little bit higher armor-piercing damage. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's dangerous. So these horse archers, very dangerous right now. Very nice job with the slingers here. Look at that, those Iberian slingers getting some kills on the steppe horse archers, so that's an important go-get for the Arevaci. They need this in order to try and help even the odds, because Cimmeria is clearly, willing to sit back and skirmish this out and try and pick at the Arevaci. And I think that's a pretty good strategy, honestly. These glass cannon type factions like the Arevaci don't typically want to sit around and skirmish for a real long time. They would do better to get a quick, decisive engagement. And sometimes what they need, too, is a decisive engagement in a single area where they can start a roll-up, because typically these factions don't do well in a very prolonged melee. They need to be quick in what they're doing, light and quick, and I would say that that's definitely the feel of the Iberian faction. Now, these Cimmerian heavy archers are going to open up. They're going to get some damage done. These Scutari don't have the armor that typical heavy infantry They do have a decent shield, but they are going to take some damage on the way in from those heavy archers. There's a picked peltis back there as well, and then they're going to come up against a wall here. And this Cimmerian Noble Infantry is going to be a tough wall. A very tough wall. The AP damage on the Cimmerian Nobles is going to be better than the Scutari. Not a lot better, but better. And they're going to enter that wall formation. It's going to be, yeah, this is what I want to see. Scutari trying to get through those gaps and pressure those heavy archers. So I like that play right there with Scutari. Just go shooting through the gap. Leave those Cimmerian Nobles, and then you can approach them with the Noble Fighter units if you need to. So I like that play by the Arevaci. Just charge through, come streaming in, get into combat. Some young axes in the very back that we missed earlier, but those are fairly weak units, just kind of guards. Look at this, here comes the Scutari cavalry, which was honestly getting shot up by those horse archers. Those young axes may not live very long. Nice charges here. They're going to find the Cimmerian heavy archers. I believe those archers fight with spears. Yep, they do. So they're going to be a little bit dangerous to this not-so-heavy cavalry. Not super dangerous, but a little bit dangerous. The Arevaci getting some good work done with their slingers now, just able to fire into this fight. If those Cimmerian nobles do turn around, they'll want to shoot them in the back, but an interesting engagement the Arevaci get started here. Noble fighters have not even been engaged yet. I believe we have 3 units of them still that just have not been engaged at all. Whew. And that shot here is brutal. So the Steppe Horse Archers have now turned heavy shot off, and that makes sense, firing at the Celtiberian Cavalry. Really no need to keep it on. So the Celtiberian Cavalry getting destroyed kind of in one go here. One Noble Fighter has come and engaged a Cimmerian Noble Infantry. They got a clean charge, but that Cimmerian Noble Infantry is now going to kind of post up into this wall, and they're going to take a lot longer to kill than the Arevaci probably want. However, if they can get these good charges, it may lead to good things. Those Scutari, I think, really kind of disrupted the Cimmerian line quite well early on, but I think at this point it's going to be a question of, can the Arevaci outlast these noble infantry? The slingers are here to support. I think that's going to help a lot, but you're still going to have incoming fire from the horse archers and the heavy archers. It's going to take its toll, and then you're going to have these really heavy melee infantry units with only 3 elite melee infantry for the Arevaci. So can they get this done? See this unit, how it's stacking up. It's winning, and it's winning well, but the noble infantry are making a fight of it, and I don't really feel like the Arevaci can afford the time at the moment. Look at this. This unit's getting tired of getting shot, so it's going to go chasing horse archers. This unit's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. They just don't have a good option. That Scythian Hoplite with a big outflanking, that's going to be bad news for these noble fighters. They might want to turn and charge it since this unit's in a wall, and that's indeed what they're going to do. Now the noble infantry, if the other player is paying attention, should charge and follow. And it looks like they are. So both players paying attention over here, and so it's a good deal. Those noble fighters get a ton of kills off the charge, but they're now sandwiched, and that's going to be a tough position. Those Celtiberian cavalry could help a lot. It's saying that it's stacked in favor of the Arevaci, and in some ways I can see that. They've got some very dangerous infantry left, but like I said, I'm a little bit concerned how they're going to cut their way through this. However, they do have the benefit of 4 Iberian slingers, no 5, really working the Cimmerians here, and that may be enough to get the job done. But you're also looking at an Arevaci general who's in pretty bad shape, and if he were to kick the bucket early, that could be really bad. Yeah, this Scutari chasing horse archers just gets absolutely shredded. Let's see here what's going to happen. Yeah, it looks like some units kind of breaking through here. A noble infantry's breaking through, and we're starting to see some pressure on those Iberian slingers, so I don't think that bodes well. But let's see how these noble fighters out here are doing. They are holding up. This one is getting a ton of kills. Routed that Scythian Hoplite, and now it's headed back to the noble infantry for a second round of fighting. This noble fighter is about to get some support from some Scutari. And we've got a Scythian Hoplite now putting pressure along with a Steppe Horse Archer into the Iberian slingers. Those slingers need to turn and fire and get rid of these units. Looks like this unit's going... I don't think it's intended to get up into melee, but it's getting in there. Those slingers definitely need to clear up their brethren. However, we just got a noble fighter free from that fight. The Scutari continue to wrap up. The power bar continues to swing against the Cimmerians, and I do believe that the Iberians are going to pull off a victory here, and I mean, I don't know for sure whether it's what swung it, but to me, it really seemed like the Scutari charging through the gaps that the Cimmerian nobles left may have been just enough of what was needed to kind of disrupt that initial formation, take away some of the value of those heavy archers, and then give the Arevaci a chance. I think this battle's over. I think it's over. I don't know if the horse archers have enough to get this done. We do have a noble fighter kind of wavering over here. This one's still in pretty strong shape. There's still Scutari left here. Yeah, it's over. So the Cimmerians there had me wondering for a minute whether that Arevaci general could die, and then this big ball of slingers routes, and then that has an impact on the rest. But no, it's not going to happen that way. So the Arevaci are going to get themselves I would say a solid victory here. Not a huge victory, but definitely a solid victory. Two interesting factions, both very capable in their own right, The Cimmerians very capable of skirmishing well, but also they do have a solid backbone of infantry. It's not going to be stellar infantry, but it's going to be solid. And then you've got the Arevaci with the capability to skirmish, but very glass cannon type infantry where their work needs to be done quickly. And I think that, again, shooting those gaps did allow the Scutari to get some better value than they would have having gone headlong into those Cimmerian noble infantry. So I think that that was a nice play there. And then the slingers did stay alive despite that early pressure from the horse archers, so that was very well done by the Arevaci player to keep these alive. So Killer and Hotel Soap, appreciate them. This was a fun fight, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's take a look at some of these stats over here. Some pretty good kills on this Cimmerian noble. Again, those are dangerous units. Another one with good kills here. Look at that, 133 on a horse archer, 128. Again, some pretty respectable kills there. So, fun one here. Nicely played. Appreciate the players. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.